Hey there, y'all, and welcome back to Get Going Fast, where we're getting into this excellent hobby AI in a quick and efficient manner in which you actually might learn something. Oh my God. So today, these image models keep coming out, new stuff, great stuff all the time. You think that they're going to run out of time, and then they don't. So now we're going to be looking today at HunyuanImage 2.1, which I guess is encouraged, and that there's going to be a 2.2. And what we're going to see is that while the imagery is fantastic, it's not going to really be toppling Quinn 3. Quinn 3, guys, is just really incredible. But what is amazing is that all of these are 2K images that were made in less than a minute. Okay, so all of this stuff was made 35 to 40 seconds on my 4090. It's very high detail. It's very good. It's got prompt adherence, and it's fast. Okay, I mean, really impressive stuff. And so we're going to get that going as usual through ComfyUI. There is an installation that I'll show you that you can play with. Try to make your own Gravio app or do it out of your command terminal. But I will tell you that those things never work quite as fast as they do when you run it in ComfyUI, which is why we're just going to kind of focus on that, because what we want to do is we want to be getting this stuff going, because I love playing with stuff, but I know you guys want to be making stuff. You got to you want to be production. You want to get it going, and this really does it well. And I'm telling you, we're going to throw some of this stuff later. You'll be able to throw this into your image to video stuff, and then you're going to have very high definition image to video stuff going. So really cool product that we're going to walk you through where to get the models, give you some tips on running the workflow, all that good stuff. But before we do that, thank you for liking the channel, subscribing. As usual, we're growing, and this kind of exciting. Makes me a little bit nervous. I'm like, okay, well, I got what the people like, but we want to keep growing in this direction and doing this, and we don't want to leave behind the things we were doing. And you guys are like the rope when you're climbing a mountainside. You're like the stable rope that keeps me attached and moving forward. And what a cool group of people you are, and I appreciate having you around. So thank you very much for doing that. Okay, you guys are the better part of Get Going Fast. All right, now that I've done like rubbing your back and all that, we're going to move forward here. But do share the channel with people. Tell them about the video. Tell them about AI, because it really is a great hobby, as you know. And the more people, the merrier. So, all right, with that said, we're going to move on to getting Hunyuan 2.1 going very quickly in our ComfyUI workflow. Yo. Okay, so to get going, as usual, we're going to head over to our browser, and we're going to be looking for this page. Now, this isn't the page that we're actually going to work out of, but this is the page where you can read about it, and I will show you how you can play around with this if you want to try to make a non-ComfyUI installation. But basically, just do a Google search for HunyuanImage 2.1. Okay, and it's going to bring up this bad boy here. It says HunyuanImage 2.1, an efficient diffusion model. What does it say? For high resolution 2K text to image generation. All right, so this is the repo, as you guys should know. This is the place where they store the files. If you, we're not going to go through this. If you wanted to try to download this and get it going yourself, you would essentially git clone this, okay? And you'd scroll down here to your dependencies and installations. Remember, you need to create a virtual environment first. So don't play with this without a virtual environment. You git clone it, you go in there, you install your dependencies. I will tell you quickly, here it says pit install your requirements. This is not, I don't know why they do this. This is not going to install the correct torch. It's going to install torch without CUDA. Okay, and then it's going to give you this flash to install, and guys, you're going to sit here for 6 hours waiting for this to install. So really what you need to do with this is, if you're going to play with this, you need to go find a pre-compiled version of Flash that works for for one, your particular Python version. So if you got Python 3.10, you got to find the compiled Flash that works for Python 3.10. And if you're running whatever version of CUDA you're running, which I think this is going to want 2.7, you're going to have to install the correct torch and go in there. So you can do that, but that's going to be on the purview of what we're doing today. If I can get this, where I've been playing with this, and it's just, again, these things always, when you go into putting this stuff down, there's typically, it's just not as fast as ComfyUI. And if I get this down, I'm going to show you how to do it, okay? But really, I'm just kind of focusing right now on, I want you guys to get playing with this. But just so you know, this is where you need to go. If you want to do this, you'll install your requirements. You'll have to reinstall Torch, the correct Torch, which is 2.7, and then you'll have to go get your Flash. All right? Now, notice here it says the details of downloaded pre-trained models. You're going to need to open this up, and in here, there's going to be all sorts of directions on how to get the models down. So, once you get done, you're going to have to go here, download the models manually. Lastly, here, it gives you a code that you can run. Okay? Now, I want to tell you again, you can create a Python file with this, and it's going to give some errors when it tries to find this dependency, high image diffusion pipelines. Once you get your Torch and your Flash, and you get down to the errors of finding this, all that, throw it into ChatGPT, and well, I threw it into Gemini CLI, and it's going to basically tell you that you need to create an init.py file. There's some stuff going on, yo. I'm telling you. This is why we're sticking with ComfyUI for now. But you're going to have to fix it. ChatGPT is your best friend. Then once you get it going, she'll run. All right? But it's going to run. It's going to take a while. Okay? This is for 49. This is not using your distilled models or your FP8 models that we are going to be using. Okay. That all being said, what we want to do now is we're going to skip over this. Done. All right. Thank you. I gave you what you wanted. Hey, sometimes, you know, the people get what they want good and hard. You got it there. Now we're going to skip on over to the good stuff, which we're going to head on over here, and we're going to be working with this Comfy workflow over here. And I'm going to show you a couple different things here. We're going to be installing the FP8 model, which is, again, notice it took 31 seconds to do this, and we're going to install the Distilled model, which took 26 seconds. Now, I want to show you this really quickly. This is the Distilled model, so you can tell it's pretty glaring. It got the thing done. You know, it's good, right? This is the FP8. I'm going to call this better, all right? So, the one's a bit faster, but still decent. You know, it's a bit faster. The other's better, a little bit slower. Here, running these two things, there was only a difference of 5 seconds. But I'll tell you what, if you run in a smaller model, that 5 seconds could be everything to you. Okay, so we're going to go through here. I'm going to show you where you get this workflow. We're going to download. The nice thing is they actually put where we can get the models, but I do want to warn you, okay, that we're going to download the models. There are models floating out there that do not work. So what I'm going to do is, even though we've got some click stuff here, I'm going to take you straight to the ComfyUI models themselves, so we can follow these things, okay? But I'm going to actually take you to a place where you know they're going to work, okay? In other words, what I'm saying is that there are models that should work, but they weren't created correctly, all right? Because these have been quanted, and not all quants are equal. Now, before we go on, I do want to point out, as usual, if you go over to GetGoingFast.pro, you can just get the download model here. You can just download it, put it outside your ComfyUI folder, click it, it will download. It gets the workflow, you're ready to go. So you can actually be, as long as it takes you to download the models, you'll be ready to go. This is the fastest way to do it. It's free for all members. It's like $12 to join as a member, or you can buy it one time. I don't know why you buy it one time to join as a member. You get everything, but you can get here by going to Hunyuan21.getgoingfast.pro. Okay, and notice it didn't bring me there. So I got to fix that, but I'll fix that real quick. That will take you directly to this page. All right, and you just run it, you install it, load your ComfyUI, and you're ready to go. Okay, that being said, to get this thing going, let's assume that this workflow is not here. So we'll click this out, okay, and we'll say we've got our blank default. So when you first load up ComfyUI, it always shows up as a default workflow. Okay, it's your basic image generator. Now, if you haven't updated your ComfyUI in a while, you're going to need to click this manager button. Bam! If you do not have a manager button, you've got a poor installation of ComfyUI. You need to have the model manager. The easiest way to get going with a good installation is just go to comfy.getgoingfast.pro. This is free, okay? You can have it as my gift to you, and this will get you going with your Sage attention to flash all this stuff that you need. So you just go down here, get the right version, which is going to be, this 12.6 or probably just get the 12.8 now because I found a way to get it all working. But whatever, you find one that works. 12.6 definitely going to work, okay? Unless you got a 50 card, then grab 12.8. But anyway, get it running. You're good. Then you'll come back here, you'll reload, and hey, there's that ComfyUI manager that was missing. Click the update ComfyUI. Okay, this will not work if you do not update your ComfyUI. And that is something, by the way, that happens with a lot. Like, you need to be updating your ComfyUI all the time. When new things come out, Comfy brings them into their ecosphere, right? And they update their nodes so that they'll work. But you got to update it to get access to it. So that's how you do that. That's the first step we're going to do. Update it. It'll ask you if you want to restart. You'll press yes. It'll ask you if you want to refresh. You'll say yes. And then we're ready to go. Okay, so first thing we need is a workflow. So as you should know, these things here, what you do when you create something, this is called a workflow. It flows just like electricity or water, flows from one line to the next, probably more like electricity, right? It flows over to here. This is called a workflow, all right? And we have to have a particular workflow. They're saved in what's called a .json file. .json is it's a way of storing data, okay? So you get the file, it's got what is in there, you load it in, it's awesome. I mean, it's ComfyUI, it's incredible. So we could do some searches online. You could do some searches for Hunyuan 2.1 workflow, and you could play around through here and try to look for it. I'm going to tell you probably you'd add Hugging Face on there. You see, there's not a ton, and there are some out there, but here's the deal. I found different workflows that don't necessarily work. So again, it's fairly new. There's going to be more workflows coming out. I'm getting you going like day 2, day 3. So we're getting going. You'll get better stuff out there, but I found workflows like the easiest way. I just want you guys the easiest way to get it is just to do this. Go over to my site, which is cognibuild.ai. Just go to cognibuild.ai, click up here on the blog, and you're going to see I put up here, it says Hunyuan 2.1 image comfy workflow. So if you're doing this in the future and you can't find it, just type Hunyuan, if you can spell it, like that, and it'll do a search for it. All right? Just click it, and you're going to see that you have a link here. Now, this is important. I'm going to show you. If you just click on it, it's going to bring you up to this page, and you're going to be very confused. This is the format. This is the way it looks. It's pretty cool. I mean, actually, you see how these things embed in there, and so that's how it stores data. It's like A1, A2, A3, B, B1, B2, and so on. But this doesn't do you any good in the real world when we're trying to get going fast. So, rather, what we'll do is we're going to right-click on it, and then you're going to go save link as. Now, that doesn't show on my screen, but it will show up on your screen and give you a place to save it. Now, the temptation is to save it to your downloads folder or something like that. Go to your Comfy installation, create a folder called Workflow, and then inside that create another folder called Hunyuan 2.1, and then save it there. That way your stuff is organized, it's in a place you can find it later, and you're not just drilling through downloads. But whatever, you gotta do what you gotta do. Now, so going back here, you're gonna right click this bad boy, you're gonna save it, you're gonna put it hopefully where I've suggested to you because it's going to help you the best. Then we're going to go back over to our image jobber. And what we is going to do, I'm going to actually on my side, I'm going to minimize some windows so I can see a little bit better. Okay, now we're going to go up here where it says to this. Okay, and we're going to go File. We're going to click Open. Now you're going to go to the location that you saved it. I know that you can't see that on my screen. Let's see. Let me see. Maybe I can make it for you to see real quick. Okay, so you're going to go over here. Notice I've got my ComfyUI, I've got my workflows folders, and I got all of these. I'm going to click my Hunyuan 2, and there it is. So I'm just going to go ahead and click that, and I'll notice it popped back up. All right. So this is our workflow. So there you go. We're almost done. So what we're going to need to do is we're going to notice it's already got these things preloaded in here. The load diffusion model. We've got our clip loaders. We need 2 of them. We got a VAE that we're going to need to do. So this is basically how to understand what objects are. The VAE is going to help us with a clear image, and the diffusion model itself is how to interact. Okay, we've got this up here. Like we've already got a pre-prompt in here, Battle Scarred Samurai. You've got your negative prompts so you can play with. Notice down here it's going to give us different parameters. So that's up here, different widths and heights, because it's going to come out in a 2K resolution. So this is like basically like a square. This is going to be your landscape, and this is going to be your portrait. And you'll just change those up here. There's really not going to be anything over here other than notice it says Control after Generate. If you want to create the same thing over and over again, you keep it on fixed, but you might want to randomize it, which is what I typically do. Okay. Now, very likely, when you load this up, you're going to get something that says that you're missing a node. Okay, and that node is called something like what is it called? It's called Clean. It's called Easy Clean GPU. That is this node right here. And essentially what this does is it helps manage your resources. So you know how like it is when you run stuff over time, it gets a little bit bogged down, you lose your resources. This is supposed to clean it up. But here's the thing. Most things, if it works, it's good. If it doesn't, it's a pain in the butt. So it will pop up very likely on your screen, and it's going to say you're missing a node. Just go ahead and click Install Missing Node. Okay? It'll install it. Okay, or it should try, and then it'll ask you to restart. You'll restart the whole thing, and then you're going to have to refresh. If you come back and it does not error again, that means it installed correctly. Okay, so I've had some installations that installed correctly, and I've had others that didn't. So other ones you're sitting there for. I had one, it sat there forever, like it just kept saying it was installing. I waited 5 minutes, you didn't install, yo. Okay, so I tried it again, same thing. If you have that problem, I'm going to show you what you do. Right click on this bad boy, and then just go down here to remove. Okay, easy. It's done. Notice it kept the connection. The image just went straight to here, and then you just reload it. It's not going to matter. All that thing there does is it helps to manage the VRAM, but maybe your system's fine. So it'll be, you don't need it, but it can make things better. And guaranteed, if it's making things worse, you don't want it. Okay, so if it installs, keep it. If it doesn't, right-click on it and remove it. If you need to get it back, you can always just press Control-Z, okay? Or just reload. If you're like, oh, I got rid of it, and I shouldn't have, right? Hit Control-Z, or just go back up here and reload the template again, and it'll be there. All right? So, there it is. All right, now, this is a very simple workflow. There will be other ones that come out. You get lots of complicated ones. They'll throw an image to video. We don't need it. Right now, all we need is to work on this one. So, what we need to do is we need to download this file, this Hunyuan 2.1_FP8. Now, there's going to also be a distilled model. Remember, I showed you over here. Distilled is going to be a little bit faster, not as great a quality. The FP8 is going to be a little bit slower, better quality. Okay, for me, 5 seconds is nothing. Okay, so it's not going to be a big deal for me to stick with that. But we're going to get them all installed. So going over here, notice it gives us a link to the FP8 model. So you click this, it just brings it straight down. And can you actually, let me see if you can actually see that. You can't see that. So I click it and it just brings it up here. You can try this. Okay, notice it puts a 1 on mine. That's because I already have it downloaded. You could try it this way. This would probably be the easiest way. And here's how you do it. You go to your ComfyUI installation. All right, so over here, go to your ComfyUI. You go to your models folder, and then you're going to go to your diffusion models, and then just save it. Okay, it's a big file. It's 35. It's 35 gigabytes. It's not a small file. So you'll download that. Okay, but notice it didn't give you the diffusion model, so I'm still going to have to show you where to get that. Next, you click your text encoders. Oh, and good. This is actually really great. Okay, I want to show you. This is actually really good. What it did here is it brought us to where I was going to take us anyways. It brought us to the comfy.org file. So you're going to need to get one of these. Now notice one is only 9 gigabytes and one is 16. Okay, so that means that this one is an FP8. It's a scaled, it's a quantized model. Okay, if you remember, we talked about quantized. Essentially, think of it as if you have a number. So that number's got like 20 decimal points. And that's a fairly large number, right? You know, 1.235, whatever, large number. And you say, well, it takes so long for me to run each of those numbers, I can't run on my system. What if we got rid of 10 of those decimals? We only had 10 decimal points. Okay, well, that's a smaller number, easier to work with. It's basically the same number, less precise, okay? And you can do that down to 5 decimal points, 4 decimal points, this or that. Now, there's also, FP8 isn't exactly a cutoff like that. FP8 is more of a, you talk with ChatGPT. It'll explain it quicker, faster than I can do it to you. But essentially, it's a way of taking a large number, running it through an algorithm that converts it down to it takes all the decimals and basically puts them into 2 or 3 or 4 decimal points. And then hopefully tries to blow them back out again. But again, in the conversion, it's like a shrink ray and then a reintroducing ray. Okay, so you make it small, you make it big, but along the way you kind of lose stuff, so you still lose precision. Okay, now notice over here on the one, these are both text encoders that we're going to need. But notice this one, it says over here, even if you get this one, you still have to rename it. You have to rename it. Now, I don't think we need it. Okay, it's not that important. Okay, if you really want to squeak out every little bit out of it, then you can try it. It's not necessary for me. So I'm going to download this Quinn 2.1, the FP8 scaled safe tensors. Going to work great for me. And this is the page I want to do it from. So I would click the download button. I'll go back over to here. Okay, and I go to my models folder. This time I'm going to go into my text encoders. Okay, and I'm going to save it. I'm going to hit save. Hey, okay, there's done. Now, I also need to get this one, this Byte 5 small glyph XLFP16. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to click it. I'm going to go over to my text encoders. Okay, remember this is all inside your ComfyUI folder. Okay, inside your ComfyUI you got models. Okay, I'm going to go into my text encoders, and I am going to save that as well. Okay, now popping back to this. Notice I've got a VAE. So first of all, I've downloaded this. We're also going to get the Distilled here in a second, but I've downloaded that. I've downloaded these. Okay, the last one we need is this VAE. And if we click on it, it pops up again like this, and it gives us a straight download. So we're going to go to Models, and then we're going to put it in this VAE folder. Okay, and guys, see, once you download one of these things for one model, if another thing needs it, it's going to be fine. So I'll tell you what, you're going to save it here. It'll save it down here. When as time goes by and we get more Hunyuan 2.1 stuff going on, it's going to rely on these same VAE and text encoders. So once you get them down, as long as you keep it in the same installation using other stuff, you're going to have them. It's really these models that change. Okay, that being said, we've got all these downloaded now. I want to make sure we get the distilled model as well. So I'm going to just click here on this text encoders because I see that it took me over to the comfy.org page, which is where we wanted to be. So that was good. That was nice. So I'm going to click on here where it says Hunyuan. Can we go files and versions? I'm going to hit click split files. And then notice it says diffusion models. So we downloaded the text encoders down the VAE. I'm going to get the diffusion models. Now I'm going to get the distilled model. Okay. Now, all I got to do is click it. Okay. It's going to pop up like this. And then I'm just going to make sure I'm in my diffusion models folder. Now, you don't have to do this. You only have to do this if you think you might want to use the diffusion models. And I'm telling you, each one of these, let's take a quicker look here. Notice each one of these are big. They're 35 gigabytes. So if you download both the BF16, this is your FP8 model and your distilled, you're going to be downloading 70 gigabytes. All right, just saying. Now, notice it has a refiner. We're not going to worry about the refiner because there is no workflow that works for the refiner. That's going to be later where you throw in images and you're going to be able to make them look a little bit better. I think I'll probably use like in painting or just improving. Don't worry about it, okay? It's there. We don't have a working workflow for it yet. But remember, we're on like day 2, day 3 of this thing. You guys are getting in on the ground floor. So we're getting and doing this stuff before it's all jazz. Okay, so all right, now we go back here. We have downloaded the stuff. This is already preset. You'll see on here it already says Hunyuan 2.1. So if you click run, it should work. Even though now when you click this, it shows everything that's inside that folder because it's going to show everything inside the diffusion model folder. If you click it, you're actually not going to see this because you haven't refreshed yet. But the way the code works, it's going to go look for it. It's going to find it because it's there. But the easiest thing to do is just hit the refresh button, reload. It'll keep everything in the state that it's already in. Okay, it keeps our photos we already made. Okay, there's our FPEM. Okay, we get it going. And guys, guess what? All you got to do is click the run button. That's it. Okay. So I'm a little bit loath to do it because I've got a bunch of AI stuff going on here. Maybe I could pause and we could do it, but it doesn't really matter. You're going to see that it runs fast. Now I do want to say, the first time you run anything, it always takes a little bit of time. Okay, so like this one here took 26 seconds to run the distilled. I actually deleted the initial one. It took 50 seconds the first time. Okay, and that was because it took some time to load the model. Once the model's in the system, then every generation is going to be faster. So it dropped at like 20 seconds for the next one. And then this one went 31. So the first time you run, it's going to run a little bit longer. Second time, it's going to go fast. So typically, it's best to just load it up and then play with it. Because you lose time every time you load it. But at any rate, there you go. One thing you can do to get good prompts, watch this. Hit this, go in there, click it, hit Control A, copy that bad boy. Then just go over to ChatGPT, all right? And then say, give me an interesting prompt. It could be about anything. About cowboys and aliens that follow this template. And then paste it in there, okay? And because notice this one talks about 50 millimeter lens, f12 aperture. I'm not going to think about that kind of stuff. So it's going to give you something like that. Really great way to get good prompts. Then you can just go back to there, pop that bad boy in there, and then just click your run button. And you're gold. You really don't need to mess with anything. And this will autosave as well. So to find your outputs, you're just going to go to your files. Let me see if I can show you real quick. You're just going to do something like this. Find your outputs. You're just going to go to your Comfy installation. Okay, you go into your Comfy folder. You're going to find the output folder, and then it saves it in a folder called HunyuanImage. So it doesn't save with the others. It actually creates its own folder. And then you'll be able to find all your stuff there. Very groovy. Okay, well, I think that is actually it. As I mentioned, we did all that. If you want to just get going fast, head over to Hunyuan21.getgoingfast. Just get the model manager. Very easy, and it looks like this. Real easy, simple thing here. You just install models. You can click one. It'll show you if anything's already installed. If you have a bad model or something got corrupted, hit delete models. It'll show you the ones that you can delete, and then you can always read down the workflow. And the workflow here is the one without the extra node that messes things up. So this will get you going absolutely fastest way. That is Hunyuan21 GetGoingFast.pro, and that's free for members. So if you're a member, just get it going. You're as fast as it gets downloaded as you're up and running. Okay, well, thanks guys for hanging in there. Cool image stuff to come on. We're gonna be looking at a few other stuff this week. We've got something called Humo, which is the new text to audio. So much lip syncing software coming out, or not text to audio, text to video. So much lip syncing stuff coming out. This one looks like it could be good, and I believe it's by Tencent, or was it ByteDance? It was by ByteDance. ByteDance blew the STV thing. Oh my God, it was so bad. Okay, maybe they're going to make it up with this. So keep your eye open for that. We'll be doing a video on that soon. In the meanwhile, you can find us over on Instagram. You can find us on X. You know, we're under the name CogniBuild. Come find us on Reddit at GetGoingFast. We'd love to have you over there. If you want to be famous, come. I'll let you mod over there. You know, and you can do your thing. Come find us on the Discord. That's the main way that we hang out, where you're going to get help. So I'm happy to help people kind of with random questions. I do give my most attention to members, all that. And you can also, I have membership tiers. If you want an hour of my time, you want 4 hours of my time, there's a tier for that. And I will actually sit with you and we'll talk one-on-one, and I'll do the work for you, show you what I'm doing, kind of like a teaching sort of thing. So that's all sorts of resources available, ways to get involved. Come share the things. We're going to be running some promotion stuff here on some contests. And there's going to be little prizes. I'm not saying there'll be great prizes, but there are going to be some prizes. And so you got to come over to the Discord and you'll find out more about that. In the meanwhile, you guys stay good. I will be definitely back on Monday. We have our live stream, kind of our week in review, and looking forward to a good time where we can chat and you can pick each other's brains and have a good time. We enjoy that. In the meanwhile, you guys be good. Enjoy the rest of this summer. And I don't know, just... keep on keeping on, yo.